Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue, and welcome to Golf at the Jersey Shore, specifically Atlantic City Country Club, a showcase of golf for the past 110 years here in Northfield. From the time you enter the winding driveway and enter the clubhouse, you are in for a very rewarding golfing experience. The views, they're spectacular, whether it's from the golf course, the outside dining area, or the tap room grill. And you'll be surrounded by history, from Arnold Palmer to Willie Mays, Sam Snead to Babe Dickerson Zaharias. Leo Frazier was the pro for years here at Atlantic City Country Club, and he was the president of the National PGA. Atlantic City is a virtual shrine to golf greatness, from the past to the present. So settle back and enjoy our tour of the legendary Atlantic City Country Club. Coming up next on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By Club Champion, better fit, lower scores. Now open in Ballackinwood. By Southwest Greens, the Pro Knows. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.
Defining a target, realizing a dream. Susquehanna Bank can help you get your plans off the ground. Whether you're sending kids to college or doing something special for yourself. Susquehanna's financial advisors are worth talking to. We can help you find the smartest way to borrow money and save money in the process. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for dreamers like you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank from Atlantic City Country Club, Northfield, New Jersey. And Fran Mulholland is the head golf professional. Fran, good seeing you. 5 years in the job, huh?
Right.
What a location you have here. It is beautiful. Let me ask you a question. How would you describe the front nine here at Atlantic City compared to the back nine, or is there a difference?
I think so. I think the front nine is more classic, right in front of you. You can see what you're doing, where you're headed. The back nine is a little linksy type more, I think. You know, a few dog legs, a few tricky holes, and you really need to know where you're going. Whereas the front nine, the first time you play it, you can make your way around it. Back nine, it takes a little experience, I think.
Yeah, and of course the views from the back nine, I think, are superior, not just to the front nine here, but maybe most golf courses around, because you have the scenic views of the skyline of Atlantic City coming off the marsh, and it really makes for an interesting round of golf. Here on the first tee, it is adjacent, literally, the same ground as the putting green. There aren't too many golf courses where that's the case. Sort of an interesting little feature, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I think it's really neat. People love it. They're probably a little nervous, more nervous than normal on a first tee, because they certainly don't want to take a divot. So it's a tough first tee shot, I guess.
Yeah, and on a crowded day, I guess you got maybe 15 guys practicing their putting while you got a foursome here teeing off. So you got a little bit of an audience here.
It's a noisy first tee, definitely. Probably.
Let's talk about this first hole. A lot of times you go and you see at a club a kind of a warm-up hole to get your round started. There's no warm-up hole here. This is 450 from the tips, about 430 from the middle tees, and over water, obviously, to start. This is some opening hole.
It's one of the hardest holes on this course, and without a doubt, it's a long one. It's a tough hole.
You got to spend some time on the practice range, which is a beautiful practice range, but still, you have to have your swing ready when you come out here.
You do.
When you look at it, when you eye it up here, you got the bunker down the right side. You got another fairway bunker close to the tee and also farther down. And they certainly do come in play no matter the caliber of the player.
Most of the trouble's on the right where the trees are, and that bunker on the right seems to attract a lot of balls. I mean, there's plenty of room on the left, even if you're in the rough, so I think that's just, you know, try to keep it to the left-hand side and you'll have a shot in there.
Fran, assuming we hit our drive, say 225, 230, this is what we're looking at into the hole. We still have another 200 yards or so. And as we look up toward the green there, we can see bunkers on the right, but they are really what? How far back from that green?
The one on the left is probably 125 yards, 150 15 yards, and the one on the right is about 40 or 50 yards.
Okay, so there's only one actual greenside bunker, and that's on the left. And things begin to narrow up a little bit, don't they, once we get past this landing area for the tee shot. The rough kind of squeezes in from both sides of the fairway.
A little bit, but this is where most people end up right here anyway. It's fairly wide here.
That's assuming you hit a straight shot like you do all the time.
Right, exactly.
Well, it didn't take us long to get that first skyline look at Atlantic City. That's a beautiful view as we stand here, Fran, on the first green, or just off it. And the one thing I noticed when you look at this green, there's a lot of undulation here and really on a lot of your greens here that, traditionally people think Jersey Shore, kind of flat, one plane. That's not the case here, is it?
No, it's not. These greens, they're relatively large greens, and they do have a lot of break to them. A lot of back to front. For some reason, though, they don't seem to break as much as they look. So
sounds like a guy who's missed some putts because he's overread the green. Is that it?
I think I'm a decent putter, but I don't make too many putts out here for some reason. But I think that's a general feeling amongst people who play here a lot, that the greens don't break quite as much as they look.
But I mean, look at this green here. I mean, first of all, you have numerous places to put the hole. Here it's back left today. But there's just some very subtle ridges in here, especially on the right side of this green, that can really play with you a little bit.
Definitely. You could have a long putt. I mean, you could have a 50, 60-foot putt here on this green.
Right, and break about 3 different ways.
Right, exactly right. Yep.
Fran, this is the third hole. It's a par 4, and every hole here at Atlantic City has a name. This is called Major's Favorite. Now, Major was Leo Frazier. He was a major in the Second World War, but it's also Fran's favorite, right?
Right, it is.
What do you like about this little par 4?
It's just a fun little hole. You can hit driver, 3-wood off the tee. There's out of bounds right. It's bunkered all the way down the left-hand side. If you get in one of those bunkers, it's a lot harder hole than it should be, really, because it's really only a wedge or sand wedge into this green, which is a little elevated, so it's a fun second shot.
Standing here on this green, sort of a pear-shaped green, narrow in the front, a little wider in the back, slopes everything back to front, and maybe, what do you think, the smallest green or one of the smallest greens on the golf course?
I think it might be the smallest green, or close to it, probably.
And well protected, and if you're in one of these greenside bunkers, you don't want to be on the wrong side, do you?
No, it's a tough up and down from either side of this green if you miss it. Even putting, if you hit this green and you're left or right of the pin, then that's a tough putt there too.
And worth repeating is the fact, very subtle ridges and undulation in this green as well. Given its size, not as big as number 1, obviously, but still, you got to be careful where you put it. Make sure you're on the right side.
Exactly.
And for the back of number 3, another spectacular view of Atlantic City. Fran, we have reached number 9. This is called Adirondack. I'm not sure. There's no mountain chain around here. There must be a few Adirondack chairs probably lining the 9th green up around the clubhouse. But tell me what is unique about this hole, because obviously we can't see the green from where we're looking here.
Right. I think this is probably the hardest hole in the course. It's a dogleg left, trees right, a lot of trouble on the left. So the play, I guess, is try to hit it out to the right a little bit, maybe draw it a little bit, and just try to get it out in the center of this fairway so you can look at that green.
So a shortcut would be over that bunker that we can see,
right,
that's guarding the left side. That's out there a little bit farther than you would think, and like you said, it doesn't necessarily guarantee a shot into the green, because those trees that are left really come into play all the way up on that second shot.
Definitely. If you're a little bit left of that bunker, in that left-hand rough there, even short of those trees, you won't have a second shot.
Right. You're looking at a third shot into that green.
Right.
Well, Fran, here we are. We're at the 9th green now. We finally got up here. When we were back in the middle of the fairway, I said, well, that pin is center right. That pin is dead right. And you got, what, maybe 8 or 9 paces, and you got that green side bunker coming into play. So it's really deceptive from the middle of the fairway, looking up here, trying to figure out where the pin was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I kind of thought it was more centered than it was actually myself.
And you're here more than I am.
I am.
We're coming back. That's our little tour of some of Fran's favorite holes on the front 9 at Atlantic City Country Club. We'll be back to look at the back 9. Oh, where do you see the back 9 here at Atlantic City? As Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank, continues.
To the duffers, the hacks, we've been there.
To the 3 and 4 putters, we learned.
And to the rough riders and sandmen, we're ready to teach you.
To everybody out there who thinks they can't play the game, the over 28,000 PGA golf professionals say, we're here to help you discover or rediscover the joys of golf.
To you, and you, and you, we're here.
The Philadelphia Section PGA is here to teach you. Play golf, Delaware Valley.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank from beautiful Atlantic City Country Club. Look at this panoramic view. We are standing on the tee box at number 14. We're beginning our tour of 3 great holes on the back 9. Fran Mulholland, our host pro, is with us. And Fran, here at number 14, they call this the Salt Marsh. And from standing here, we know exactly why. And this is a classic example of high risk, high reward. 340 yards from the tips, about 330 from the regular tees. And would you agree that, hey, you can bite off as much as you want here, but you better be certain of what you want to do.
Right, I couldn't agree more. It's, you know, there's plenty of room to the left here. As you can see, the green is over there, right over this corner of the marsh. Personally, I've never hit it left. I try to hit it on the green every time, and it
I won't
works.
ask you what the percentage is.
It's a low percentage, right?
Okay.
But
at least he's honest.
if you hit it left here, you'll have anywhere from an 8-iron or 9-iron into that green.
Yeah, so somebody who, say, hits their driver maybe 215, 220 yards, that's a big poke to get it over the marsh and over the bunkers, because, as we'll see a little bit later, the fairway there is very, very narrow.
Right, it makes no sense really to try and drive it over those bunkers because it is very narrow there.
All right, so maybe the best play is a 3-wood or maybe a hybrid or something like
Right.
that. Take advantage of that wide fairway, and like you said, you probably only have maybe 75, 80, 90 yards into the green.
Right, exactly, that's the way to play.
All right, we're looking back now from the middle of the fairway, or almost, to the tee box, Fran. It's the widest part of this hole and the perfect landing area for, I'd say, 90% of the players, right?
Yes, without doubt.
And from this distance in, you're only talking 85 yards or less, so it's the high percentage play, and you still have a chance at making a birdie. And today, as you can see from that flag, actually the wind is helping a tee ball coming back from the salt marsh. So maybe this is the day you were going to make it.
I think
Too
this
bad
is,
you don't have a driver in your hand.
Right, too bad. This is probably most prevailing wind here, I guess, this coming off the shore here. So it's right to left, so you just hit driver over to marsh and hopefully it comes back here.
Now, how about we see this huge bunker over here that protects the left side of this fairway, and if you do hit your drive a little longer than you anticipated, you have maybe upwards to a 65-yard bunker shot to what is, where that flag, a pretty narrow green.
Yes, with the marsh on the other side of the green as well, too, so it's not a good place to be.
I'd say a hairy shot. It's nice to look at with Atlantic City in the background, but tough to execute.
Yes, without doubt.
Number 15 here at Atlantic City. It's called Tidewater. Obviously, it's right on the edge of the salt marsh. And wow, par 3 from the tips, $190, and about 175 from the middle tees, right into a prevailing wind, Fran. And on most given days, what is it, a 2-club, 3-club wind sometimes?
Easily 2 clubs, most days probably.
And what do we got here? We got nothing in front, so you have to get it up. Behind is dead. To the right is dead. And to the left, a little bit of a bailout area, if you can get it there.
Right, left is your bailout a little bit, or sometimes you hope you catch one of those bunkers that keeps your ball in play.
It's a great hole, and it actually sits up a little bit on a shelf. And as you can see, well, the golfers that are there now, on that hill sometimes, I guess if you don't hit it far enough, it's going to roll back down into the hazard.
Yeah, but usually the rough is long enough there that'll keep it out of there. So
Try to save par from that rough, huh?
I think the main thing here is just to make sure you hit enough club, and it might seem like too much club, but typically it's not.
Hit it straight and don't worry about having too much club, especially when the wind's blowing.
Right, right.
Fran, it's fitting we end our tour of the back 9 here at Atlantic City. At the closing hole, number 18, it is called Trolley Back, and that's the history, of course, of the last trolley car back to Atlantic City. So you can talk and tell your lies to everybody back at Atlantic City, but that's a long time ago. Tell me about this hole. 430 from the tips, probably maybe 60 yards less than that from where we're standing, and this vantage point at the middle. Another dogleg par 4, huh?
Dogleg par 4, giant bunker on the right, which you really want to avoid. It's a fairly large landing area. A few bunkers on the left that if someone hooks it, you can get, you can have a problem in there.
We're not going to be there.
Right. So left, center, left, and it's pretty wide out there.
It is. And like you said, up that right side is dead. Left side, we don't even want to think about it.
Right. Simple shot.
Well, from where we were standing in the middle of the fairway, we were about 140 yards in. We stayed away from the right side. We stayed away from the left. We had a clear shot in. And then we get up here to the green, Fran. Once again, we have a large size green, and there's some subtle ridges in there. And if you're not on the right side of the green, you're in trouble.
Absolutely. And some of these ridges aren't even that subtle. This slope here in the middle towards the back of the green is fairly severe. So if you're on the wrong shelf here, it's
a back right pin,
right,
and you don't hit enough club, it's just going to roll back, and you may have a 35, 40-foot putt to
right,
get it back up top.
Right. It's a tricky green. It's a fun green to play.
Well, a couple guys that just finished around the golf here at Atlantic City Country Club. Jason Pointer, Mike Maroon. Both are from Essex County Country Club up in West Orange. Jason, you're a professional up there.
I'm indeed, yes.
And what you think of Atlantic City? What do you like about it?
Breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. Spectacular views. Every hole an absolute beauty. Brilliant shot-making holes. Just goes to show that golf courses don't need to be nearly 8,000 yards long to be fantastic.
Well, you guys have the game for 8,000 yards because I saw a couple of your tee shots. Mike, how about you? What do you think? How about the closing holes here?
I'm a big fan of the whole place. I'm a huge old architecture fan, and I love the way they preserve the layout, and I love the shot values. You have to work the ball both ways. Phenomenal layout, no two holes the same, just a great time. We come down 3 or 4 times a year. It's a treat every time.
Well, you probably know this. Willie Park, who won the British Open way back when, I think he played against young Mr. Mars back in the day, was the original designer of Atlantic City Country Club. But like I said, I'm sure you knew that, Jason.
Certainly, I mean, it's just a wonderful place.
Jason tells me every time it's his favorite course throughout New Jersey, public or private.
Well, there you go. Nice testimonial. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so very much.
Good seeing you,
Nice
Mike.
to meet you. Thank you.
Well, Fran, thanks again for having us. One of my favorite stops at the Jersey Shore is always Atlantic City Country Club. And you have some things coming up, well, underway already as a women's clinic, right? What's that all about?
Right. Thursday nights we have a ladies clinic. It's $25. Starts at 5 o'clock right now. In April and May it will go to 6 o'clock. Everyone's welcome. We serve hors d'oeuvres afterwards, complimentary hors d'oeuvres following the ladies clinic, so everyone likes that. They come out and it's kind of the ladies can hang out. Junior clinics we'll have starting in June on Tuesdays. We have 9 and Dine, which is really nice, on Friday nights. And every day here is a happy hour. It's half price drafts and hors d'oeuvres and $5 wine and martinis.
Doesn't get any better than that, does it, folks? Fran Mulholland, our host, golf professional here at Atlantic City Country Club. And for more on this fabulous facility, you can get that information by going to insidegolf.net, and we'll link you up with Atlantic City Country Club. Fran, thanks again.
Thanks, Harry.
What time's that happy hour start again?
Right now.
Stay with us. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank, continues. Coming up next, Tee Off.
Early mornings, late nights, and way too many takeout dinners. Running a business takes energy, determination, and sacrifice. And whether you're a startup, well-established, or somewhere in between, the people of Susquehanna Bank have the knowledge to help you succeed. From cash management solutions to the benefits of local loan decisions, we help keep your business moving ahead. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts for businesses like yours. Member FDIC.
Guests of Inside Golf enjoy dining at Sin Sin, the popular Asian fusion restaurant located on Germantown Avenue in the heart of scenic Chestnut Hill.
And now it's time for Teed Off, brought to you by Yingling, America's oldest brewery.
Play 2 great golf courses and have a great time there.
And welcome back. Inside Golf presented by Susquehanna Bank, and we're at the Green Parrot in Newtown, Bucks County for our Teed Off panel. Jack McCaffrey's with us, sports columnist, Delaware County Times. Harry Mays, midday host on 97.5 The Fanatic. And Tony Leodora, host of Golf Talk Live every Saturday morning, WNTP in Philadelphia. You know, guys, spring is here just about. Summer is not that far away. A lot of guys are still maybe, or gals are thinking about a day trip or maybe a long weekend, play some golf in a nice resort, Poconos, down the Jersey Shore. Maryland, not that far away. Harry, do you have any ideas, maybe a tip here or there that can get them going in the right direction?
Well, I've spent the last 2 years going out west, but it's too long of a plane ride, so I'm going to keep it closer into the tri-state area. I went out to PGA West and also out to Torrey Pines the last couple of years. But this year I've got on the agenda, I want to get to Atlantic City Country Club, and I want to get to Hidden Creek down in South Jersey, and then I want to go hit some of those courses in Ocean City. It's only 2 hours away. And I've done some work with those people down there. They got all those great hotels, and it's a great getaway, especially in the fall, the first couple months of fall.
So you're even taking it a little more forward in the spring of the summer.
Yes, I'll go into the fall.
How about you, John?
With those topics there, you got to go Jersey Shore. You get down to Jersey Shore, you're not far from Atlantic City. You have plenty of ocean breezes and such. Given those choices, I'll go to the shore, although you mentioned Maryland, that it keeps coming in the back of my mind how much fun I used to have covering the event at Bully Rock. And that seems to be a nice place to have an opportunity to play.
One of the nicest guys in golf, not just in the state of Maryland, Rick Rounsaville, the host, the professional down there.
They always made it nice for us there.
At Bully Rock, he does a great job. And Tony, I know all the courses that have been mentioned, you've played them at least 10 times.
Well, you stole my thunder a little bit there because we actually do a little summer getaway. I take a few sponsors down there, and we go to Bully Rock. Nice. And we always combine it with one other course. You know, sometimes it's Windcote, sometimes it's Brandywine Country Club, whatever. On the way back, we go overnight. We eat crabs in the summertime, you know, out on the deck, different places down there, stay there. And it is an absolute great little getaway for just, you know, overnight. You can play 2 great golf courses and have a great time there.
Yeah, it is a great. And, you know, and we didn't mention anything up in the Poconos, but we've done several shows from up in the Poconos and some great courses not that far away when you really consider it. No. Everybody seems to gear east or southeast, but the Poconos, some great golf.
No question about it. You know, there's a number of great courses up there, and of course now you're talking about a totally different topography, a totally different style of golf, but you can have a great time up there.
Yeah, rich history up there. Shawnee, does it get any better than Shawnee? I mean, all the legacy up there. Arnold Palmer met his wife at Shawnee Country Club in a tournament. I don't know if she was working there or whatever, but Arnie was there for an event and actually met Winnie, his first wife, who of course passed away. But you know, you play on an island up there, and it's fantastic.
The only totally flat course in the Poconos.
That's right.
Because it's on an island in the middle of the Delaware. Now, of course, the mountains go up on either side, but it's a beautiful setting, and you have so many others. Jack Frost National, the newest one up there, great golf course. Mountain Laurel, totally redone. They did a great job there, and if you go up just a little farther, Blue Ridge Trail up above the Hazelland area, 27 holes of Alt Clark. They did a great job there.
Right. And another one of my favorites at the shore is Great Bay. And I know it's private, but everybody has a friend here or there.
Right.
You know, just drop Tony's name to the guy at the pro shop.
Once they wouldn't let me in.
They showed you. They did. But Great Bay, you know, Pat Croce, he's always down there, and they have done a great. They may have the most understated greens at the Jersey Shore. Great Bay, fantastic greens, no matter what time of the year. You know, and then there's Wildwood. There's a club. I mean, Wildwood was probably open before they built the boardwalk in Wildwood.
Nice.
That place has been around over 100 years.
I played
Who would
that.
have
That's
thought?
a great little course.
Who was playing golf in Wildwood Country Club back in 1910? Huh? Did they even know about Wildwood?
Hard to believe. Yeah, it's a real little gem there that they're working hard with to try and keep that thing going.
I know one time I had it was right around St. Patrick's Day, and a group of guys, we decided to play one round of golf at Stone Harbor, eat lunch, and come up and finish at Seaview on the Bay course.
Yeah,
you talk about 36 holes. Now, when we started, we were freezing in the morning. When we ended, we were freezing in the night. In between for about 5 hours, it was perfect. Well, it was March. But I mean, you talk about, and you can do that at the shore. You can play 36 holes and never go more than 20, 25 miles.
You can do it
at
Seaview without
places.
just going across the street there. That's all.
True. That's true.
Maybe
And
Nucky Thompson was playing at Wildwood back in 1910 or 1920.
he could have been at Seaview.
Yeah.
You know, and they have that little through the hedge to the bar. Did you ever see that little situation there where you don't even have to go back to the main clubhouse to get a refill, Tony?
That's a perfect situation for me.
You don't have to wait for the cart girl. And, you know, sometimes on those cold days, you know, you're looking for something to get you going for the next 5 holes.
Well, we
Right
finally
through
got
the
around
hedge.
to it. Finally got around to the answer to the question.
All right.
That's right.
Speaking of questions, let's go to Ellen Koloje. She's at the bar, and somebody has a question for Harry Mays.
Thank you, Harry. We're here with Jim Ruddy from Holland. Jim, what is your question for Harry?
I want to know who is the best player out there right now that hasn't won a major.
Well, there's several of them you can really pull from, but I'm going to go Luke Donald. I think he's a worldwide player. He's great in Europe. He's won a few tournaments here on the PGA Tour. He was playing really well last season. He had a great year, and I think right now I'd probably list him as the best player yet to win a major because he's going to win one.
Well, maybe it's his year. Thanks, guys. And Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank, comes back in just a moment. Looking for a comfortable dining and get-together spot in historic Bucks County? Welcome to the Green Parrot Restaurant and Pub in Newtown. The kitchen features wood-burning stoves, specials for lunch and dinner daily, a wine list that features more than 60 offerings, and there are 24 different draft beers. All this in one very unique place, the Green Parrot on Sycamore in beautiful Newtown.
It's time light beer got some character. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager from America's oldest brewery. Rethink your light beer.
Certainly is a lot of history when it comes to Atlantic City Country Club. For instance, adjacent to the 18th green, well, this marker says it all. The term birdie was originated right here on this hole in 1903. I think you'll agree, whether it's the golf on the championship 18 holes or the skyline views of Atlantic City, it's some experience here at Atlantic City Country Club. And there's more than just playing the game. You can practice too. They have a great practice facility to warm up, work on your long game, your short game, and everything in between. Our thanks to Fran Mulholland for giving us a tour of beautiful Atlantic City Country Club. Next week here on Inside Golf, we'll be at Makefield Highlands in Bucks County. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you, don't pick up. I'm Harry Donahue. See you next time on Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Inside Golf, presented by Susquehanna Bank. Susquehanna Bank, doing what counts. By Club Champion, better fit, lower scores. Now open in Bala-Cynwyd. By Southwest Greens, the Pro Knows. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf.